Hello everybody, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. It's Champions League preview time, you lucky things. Yes, the competition is back, thank goodness, and Manchester United are away in the Netherlands. They're playing PSV Eindhoven. Memphis Depay returning.
It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Manchester United back in Europe. I'm not sure how they're going to approach this. Are they going to look to really push on in the league this season, or give the Champions League a go? I think Depay is a fantastic player, isn't he?
They'll surely do both, will they not? That's the Manchester United one.
Will they? I'm not sure. Laurence, what do you reckon?
Do you think they'll prioritise one over the other, Laurence?
No, I think they'll look. I don't feel that the club feel like they can win the league. Although maybe they're looking at City running away with it now, though they will want to hinder City somewhat. So maybe they'll want to win the Manchester derbies essentially, keep the club steady.
They won't bother with the league, even though they're 5 or 6 points behind.
I mean, that's the interesting.
Louis, a club like Manchester United will be looking to win everything.
Louis will never vocally count himself in case he gets counted out, and he'll never count himself out in case it's sort of like, wait a minute, we could be in here.
So will they be thinking to themselves, we can win the Champions League, or is it a case of let's just take every stage?
I think Louis would be very confident of winning the Champions League because
calling him Louis for.
Well, it's me and him, isn't it? LVG will be very confident of doing very well in the Champions League. Look how well they've played so far this season. I think a few of them feel like they've got something to prove there. They're back, and also looking at the group, which I am. It's an interesting group because
they should win that group, shouldn't they?
Well, I mean, they're going to be challenged by Wolfsburg, but against PSV, that's a side that's essentially they've had a lot of their great players taken away over the summer, so they should. I mean, United should be winning that game very comfortably, despite the fact they're away from home. CSK, you'd say Louis van Gaal will think he can get past those guys mainly because. They're CSK, there's Manchester United spending a lot of money.
And you fancy them against Wolfsburg as well?
Yeah, because Manchester United have got a few bastards that can sort of...
True. I mean, the draw was perhaps a little bit kind, would you say, to Manchester United?
I think it was, but I think it's risky to go down the road of we're Manchester United, we can beat anyone. Manchester United aren't the same club they were under Ferguson, and I think they have to understand that. But at the same time, if they play to their sort of capabilities, they can go on and win this group.
But they have looked good in the Champions League on the basis of those couple of games we've seen them in, or certainly more inspiring than they have done in the league. Rooney and Memphis scoring goals and whatnot. Do you think that even under Moyes, actually, Manchester United in the Champions League, they got to the quarterfinals. David Moyes, and they got to the quarterfinals, and it was only a Bayern Munich side that got the better of them there. So actually, is it kind of ingrained in the club?
I'm not sure.
They know what to do in the Champions League?
I think that's a risky, sort of, as I said, a risky road to go down. I don't think they're good enough to win the Champions League yet. I think they can build sort of over the next few seasons and then be good enough once again to go on and win the Champions League. I just think it's really risky to throw everything at the Champions League and maybe, suffer in the league a bit. I think it's risky.
I mean, I'll be interested to see whether they rotate in the Champions League as well, because very early low game load is quite easy to manage. But will they start people like Martial in the Champions League? Or will they start Memphis, Martial, Rooney? Will they start someone like Ashley Young? Or will it be safe for the Premier League? It's going to be interesting. And also how that back line copes against more European style of play will be interesting as well. Blint and Smalling have been a great pairing in the Premier League so far. Will that continue?
Manchester City are home to Juventus. Manchester City in the Champions League.
Yeah, very different fortunes this season, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, Manchester City, there's a lot of talk about them never really stamping any kind of authority on the Champions League thus far. Is this the season, Laurence?
They've controlled games so far in the Premier League this season.
Which they have done before in the past and done nothing in the Champions League.
It would be a great start for them if they could get off to a good start against Juve, who are, granted, in very poor form right now.
It would be a great start for them if they can get off to a good start against Juventus. I think we can all agree on that.
What I'm saying is it would give them a kick-start if they were to do well against Juventus early on. It's possibly it's one of the stronger groups in there because Sevilla are a great side as well. They're going to be playing, that they won the Europa League back to back, I think, and then they also play beautiful football, and they'll like the idea they can beat the Juventus and the Man Cities. It's almost an FA Cup-esque sort of.
Juventus, the last season's finalists, have not started well.
No,
in Serie A.
One goal saved them at the weekend. It was a penalty in the first place. So look at the way that Juve are playing so far, and look at the players that maybe with a metronome or set some of the structure before. Man City will feel they can dominate that midfield with Yaya Toure, maybe De Bruyne starting. The question is whether Aguero starts. I think Aguero was not removed because he was injured. I think he was removed because mentally Palace got at him. that he's worried that he will sustain another injury if people continue to kick him like that.
It didn't look like a sort of a hefty challenge, did it?
No.
It was a strange one.
True, but what do you think of Manchester City against Juventus, Jack?
I think they've got a great chance. They've started the season so well. This Manchester City team just seems different to me. The result at the weekend sort of epitomised that for me. To really, they weren't great. I don't think Palace are a great side. And to grind out a 1-0 win, to stay unbeaten, they still haven't conceded a goal, have they? That's incredible form. To go into the Champions League, they're going to be flying high on confidence against the Juve team who you said aren't in great form. I really think City have got a good chance, but this group is probably one of the toughest in the whole tournament, I would have said.
Well, I mean, that's part of it for Man City, isn't it? Is that they go into this and they'll be thinking that is a tough group. It'd be great to get that start against Juve. Part of the point would be they've always had that blind spot in the Champions League, though. So
if they can sort of overcome that of not being great in the Champions League, that's going to give them massive confidence in the league as well. So
easier said than done, isn't it?
Easier said than done, but I think they're capable of doing it.
Yeah, this season, yeah.
All right, well, let us know how you think Manchester City will get on in the Champions League this season in the comments below. Well, let us know in the comments below how you think Manchester United and Manchester City will get on in the Champions League this week. Don't forget to subscribe to Football Daily for more videos and other football-y goodness. Thank you very much, Jack. Absolute pleasure. My good man.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Laurence.
See you tomorrow.
Handshakes all round, and we'll see you soon.